We're sitting with David Jones. He's the president and CEO of Grinnell State Bank that used to be just in Grinnell and Marengo, Iowa. And recently you've been invited, so to speak, to come to Polk County and take over what had been the Polk County banks. Tell us about that experience. Why? What happened?
It's a long, drawn-out process. We're in a position that we could look at banks that would be closed. We're on a confidential list. We get to know before the general public knows. It's a very trustworthy position to be in, and it's a bidding process with the FDIC. They try to maximize the monies that they get or save in the liquidation of a failing bank, and there's usually multiple number of banks that are bidding on situations, and none of those banks know who the other banks are, so it isn't a collaboration at any means.
Well, one of the things that you said during an Urbandale Chamber event just last week, you said some very nice things about the former owners of the Polk County Bank, the Miller family.
Yeah, they had invited us a couple of years earlier to possibly buy the bank, but when things went tough in the '08 period, they went tough fast, but bad things happen to good people. Millers have huge hearts. I've been good friends with Bob for many years, and the whirlwind they got caught up in the whirlwind, I think. And the Des Moines market is, a lot of banks have had a lot of difficulty in this market. And the competitive nature, there are a lot of banks that have come into this market, and competition can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be too much.
I think one of the things that you said to that group the other day was, I know the Millers, I like the Miller family, and this is as if they had lost a child.
Yeah, I just can't imagine having to go through what they've had to go through. And I've encouraged people that know them and are their friends to go up and talk to them. Don't turn away. Go talk to them and help them through it. It's the worst thing I've learned. I've been blessed with 3 sons, but to lose one of those sons, and I've just lost my mother actually 4 days. 4 days after we opened up here, to lose a child would be such a hard thing, and I put it up there with that. It probably isn't the same thing by any means if somebody sees this that's lost a child, but it's got to be traumatic and hard.
Your philosophy when it comes to banking is probably different, I would say, than most of the suit and tie guys that I see running around. What is the Dave Jones philosophy on banking and dealing with people?
Business has to make money, but that's not what it's about. I guess I'm blessed with reaching a point that it's not about money. Why would anybody want to come and take on 3 branches if they're not interested in making more money? My business is a rock that takes care of my family. And you go out these concentric circles, and my family are my employees. My family is the people that do business with us. Family is community, even if they don't do business with us. Being a banker is sort of like being a community celebrity. I have people that recognize me that I don't recognize them. And things like this, and the article in the Des Moines Register is going to put me into that limelight in Des Moines, where I suppose Des Moines was more of a escape for me in the past. Because when I go away and I go south in the winter, I understand the anonymity of a celebrity when they go overseas.
Right.
And when I come back, I sort of watch for that first person that waves at me. And in Grinnell, and I stand out. I'm a big redhead, and with a smile. Usually, I like to smile. I like a good joke. I've got a lot of various senses of humors,
right.
And so I'm interested in expanding the rock that takes care of my family, and my family is growing, and I want to be able to take care of more people. And the money a bank makes isn't what I get to spend. It's building a safety net for the community. I know back in the 80s both banks in Albia closed, and Albia got hit hard. I had somebody tell me another banker after the article that a bank is a reflection of the community, or the community is a reflection of the bank and the attitude of the bank. And I smiled when I thought that one of the radio stations referred to Grinnell as a lovely community. That was a compliment for me.
It is.
And Grinnell is a lovely community.
David, there's a big movement going on that's really bubbled up over the past several years about buying local. Even though chambers of commerce have been doing this for a long time, I suspect that more and more people today, given the economic situations that we've been through and we're still going through, this whole idea of taking care of Main Street is starting to resonate with a much broader appeal. What's your philosophy on that?
The World is Flat.
Yeah.
That was a book a number of years ago. It's a small world. It's I could have, if I wanted a delicacy from northern India tomorrow for lunch, I could have it. It could be here, flown to me, bang. So we have to be careful in what we call our local community to a certain degree, because the world is a finite place and this whole world is our community. But on the other hand, we have to remember who we are family with and in our circles, and take the time to make sure we can do business with those that are going to in turn take time with us and do business with us. And you know, if there's a local coffee shop down the street and there's a chain store coffee shop, the premium, the profit that comes to the local coffee shop is going to spin in this town.
One of the things that you said the other day was that you don't loan money to everybody that walks in the door, even though this is family owned, you're friendly, you're outgoing, you've got a little different demeanor, you still often say no.
Well, the word of mouth is really important. You can run all the ads you want, but word of mouth is what counts. And if somebody's going to say, oh, go to my bank, they're not going to say that because they got a loan or didn't get a loan, or they, you know, this or that. They're going to say it because they felt like they were part of it. They felt that they were good. They felt good about it. And I think word of mouth has been, go see Dave or go see Mike or John or one of our people, because our idea is to help an individual. I learned a long time ago, if I loan somebody money, I might hurt them by loaning them money. And I don't like hurting people. I want to help people. I want to sleep at night. So, and I got taught early on that a banker, part of a banker's job is a financial counseling. Well, that went away when car loans started getting pulled out by the car companies, et cetera, secondary market loans when Fannie Mae grew fast, and that's a whole other discussion. But just because you qualify doesn't mean you should borrow the money. You need to be careful what you wish for. So if I turn down a loan because I don't see the person either qualifying or benefiting that person on a long-term basis, I make sure they understand all the reasons why I would say no.
The local business guy, the coffee shop guy, or the guy that's trying to start that greenhouse.
The little bank.
The little bank.
Yeah. Which we are, even though, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah.
But what advantages to business does being a little bank have?
You know who you can talk to. You can get to yes or no at the top. You know, you're not going to get to yes or no at the top of a big institution. You can get your problem fixed better because the top maybe is closer to the bottom. And the bottom knows what they're doing better because they've heard it from the top. It's just there are a lot fewer layers involved in it. That care, if there is care. You know, a bad person in my position is not a good thing. A greedy person in my position is not a good thing. But a good person as a CEO, which most corporations have, are wonderful things.
Current Polk County Bank customers.
Yep.
What do you want to tell them?
I hope you give us a chance. I hope you like us. Talk to the Millers, find out who we are. Try to find one of our customers that we already have. And, you know, it's my younger brother who, he's the actor. I'm not the actor, I guess. And looking at a camera talking isn't necessarily what I do. Talking to you is, give us a chance. Find out who we are. Talk to one of our customers. Talk to somebody in Grinnell. They may tell you, oh, they're old conservative and good. It's be careful what you wish for.